As you drive toward the cemetery to attend the funeral, the news continues playing. It's just been a non-stop chatter of noise, white noise, as far as you've been concerned. So focused have you been on, again, making yourself look presentable, taking all your pills, getting yourself back on the straight and narrow. You only just realise you've effectively detoxed for the last 2 weeks through a sense of unconsciousness, and so hammering yourself with all of this medication again may have some effects later today, but it's too late to consider that now. You're already on the road. There's no music playing on the radio, it's just people speaking, guests, panelists, occasional public broadcasts. You can pick up voices through the meandering stream now. Reverend Borden, what do you make of this? Well, Chet, some people are saying it's the end times, but that isn't the case. I suggest that of course you can come to church, of course you can pray alongside myself and others, but we need to leave this to the scientists. Phenomena like this is not down to religion alone, and it would be presumptuous of me to say that this is the work of God or the devil or any of his angels. This is undoubtedly an unusual phenomenon, but we need to remain calm. And what I'm telling people right now over the radio is a solution will be found. We are not isolated, we are a community, and we need to stick together in all of this. Thank you very much, Reverend Borden of the Episcopalian Church of Devonsport. If you're only just joining us, if you slept in, you will be now finding out that strange things are taking place in Devonsport right now. We are not hosting our usual call-in show, and we will not be playing any music until some of this news is resolved or answered. How much of these things are pranks? How much of this is real? And why is it occurring? Overnight, we have had reported over a dozen deaths in Devonsport and the surrounding area. Accompanied with that, we have heard of increasing disappearances. Additional, although it pains me to say it, listeners, people reporting what can only be regarded as supernatural or at the very minimum unusual phenomena. A pale horse smeared in blood galloping through Devonsport in a panic. Nobody... Listeners, I'm going to be open with you right now. The most common report we're getting, and the one that's hardest to believe, above murders, above religious omens, is that we apparently have been cut off. What do I mean by that? Well, if your business takes you to Seattle or Tacoma or wherever, and you are having to drive out of town or take the train, you can't get there. No, you may be thinking, I'm about to say that's because there's roadblocks put in place. Police have formed a barrier, or the military are involved, but no. People just can't leave Devonsport and the surrounding area. They take their car, they drive down the road, and they find it looping back somehow. A new stretch of road in place, but unmissable, and yet unremarkable, is how one person remarked upon it. It's as if we're all that's left. Now, I'm not prone to hyperbole, listeners. I've been broadcasting the news for 35 years. For this beautiful community that I love, this town of Devonsport. I don't make things up. I don't believe in UFOs or ghosts or the Archangel Gabriel. But at this point, reliable people who wouldn't pull pranks, who wouldn't make jokes live on air, have been calling in to me to verify this. And the police don't want everyone to know about it because they're afraid there'll be a panic, but it's my duty to report the news and tell you what's going on. Trains find themselves re-railed and coming back. Cars find themselves diverted and coming back. We can no longer call outside of Devonsport. We can no longer send emails outside of Devonsport. They bounce back. I don't know if anyone has tried to fly out of Devonsport yet, but I can only imagine it's a matter of time. Whatever is taking place in our town has gripped the souls, the morale, the willpower of the people that live here, and it has terrified them and caused them to do some terrible things. And that terror appears to be ongoing. My best advice to you, as a responsible radio host, is stay indoors, lock your doors, lock your windows, listen to the radio, wait for the all clear, wait until you are told things are better. Because you going out there on your own right now is just you putting yourself in danger. Please listen to me, and do what I say, because staying outside right now is not in your best interests. I'm going to cut now to a public broadcast from the mayor's office, which will repeat much of what I've just said, though in more conservative terms. And so, the broadcast continues.
And I distantly take things in, thinking to myself that it all began with that school shooting. The place that's supposed to be safe. Inside. And where I'm going now, to cemetery, with my mother in tow, is as good a place as any.
You are able to pick your mother up from the home despite the chaos that is apparently reigning around in Devonsport. The care home has not changed over much. Nurses are still coming to work. Patients still need to be tended to. And your mother is surprised, but pleased to see you. She is half gone, in the sense that she's been suffering from dementia for some time now, but she still recognizes her daughter as infrequently as you visit her.
It feels strange. She's she's still there. Maybe more than I am at this point. I think to myself as I'm just looking at her smile and seeing her lips move and how she's talking about something or the other, as I hold the door open for her to let her into the car.
We going to see Henry?
Mother, we're going to say goodbye to someone that we lost.
Oh, that's nice.
Brian is going to be there, I'm told. I know you liked Brian. And my son, Richard, would be there too.
Brian was much too good for you.
I know, Mother. I know.
But Richard's nice. You were always too hard on him.
You think so, don't you?
Well, your father used to say I was too kind to you, and so he made up for it with the belt and those mean words he used to say. And I sometimes wonder how much of your father was left in you and the way you treated that boy. But I know you did the best you could. You've always been very determined.
Richard should have been able to take it if he wasn't so weak, I say, as I distantly pull the gear into drive.
Richard. Is he your husband?
Richard is my son.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Isn't nice? I'm sure he'll be happy to see you, Mother.
Are we going to see him?
Yes, we are. Just down this road.
You make it to the cemetery, and the scene there isn't quite as busy as you may have imagined, but then again, given the news, maybe people have decided to sit this one out. The priest comes up to the car. Oh, thank goodness, I'm glad someone from the family is here. Sylvia Spears, isn't it?
That's right. My son hasn't arrived yet, then.
Perhaps we should go into the chapel to talk about it. Is that your mother in the back?
Yes. This is Everly.
Well, pleased to meet you, Everly.
I help her get out and lead her as we go towards the chapel then, and I have a strange feeling. What is it that you want to tell me?
Well, what with everything going on, I didn't even know if this funeral would still be going ahead, but of course, we're in possession of Henry's remains, and I will still, of course, do my duty and inter him. But Ms. Spears, when your son didn't arrive at 7:30, of course I gave him some time. People are late all the time, and then I called his house 30 minutes later. And then when I still heard nothing, I started listening to the radio, because the TV signal's gone. I hear your son has been caught up in some kind of crime, which isn't my place to be involved in, and that he is currently...
Caught up?
I don't know the details. He's apparently being taken for questioning, I think is the phraseology. But he hasn't called me to hold off on the funeral, and I'm not obligated to wait for him, and so I would suggest that I don't. Again, the lowering of the body into the ground is very much...
Do you know if this is in any way related to the Wilsons family?
That was the news. It was related to the Wilsons family. I don't know what is going on exactly. All I know is that there was an incident at the Wilsons' house. You know, the parents of the boy that and that your son had been taken in for questioning. And again, no one has called me to tell me to hold off on the funeral. So I would suggest that you and your mother, we will go through the ceremony and then to the graveside and say some words, and when your son is away from his obligations with the police, he can have a separate ceremony. I'm sorry, this is highly irregular, but everything going around here right now is...
As he says this, I am just stunned, thinking about the possibility that what if Richard actually did that? What if he took the law into his own hands to do this? On the day before? No, I don't know when. The funeral. And it's like, part of me, there's a giggle in my throat. Even through the ceremony, I'm clasping my phone and I'm pursing my lips, as if I just want to call him. I want to ask, what has he done? And I have to, after a while, just force my phone back into the purse. I try to stay in the moment. I try to listen to what he's saying, what is being said. I take my mother's hand, and I'm not sure if I'm finally feeling proud over my boy, or if I'm just terrified.
The pallbearers employed by the church bring the coffin in. It is, of course, small. The two of you are the only family in attendance. There are some family friends, though they hang back, and undoubtedly the attendance would have been much larger if chaos wasn't breaking out all around town. Your mother, as she sits next to you, largely vacant of the situation, all this talking has sent her somewhere else, squeezes your hand and gives you a smile, gestures with her head at the coffin, and says, "Don't blame yourself. Richard was always a mild boy. He might be better off this way with the angels."
Richard? Yes. Yes. He might be better off somewhere else. But I think to myself, but not Henry. Not Henry.
Toby, It is the following day. You've visited all of your usual haunts, all the bars, the motels, the strip clubs, your apartment, the flop houses and homeless shelters that you have known Ken to stay in. Your night has been incredibly busy, trying to track him down. The only piece of information you're able to glean is that he was seen about a week ago in the company of a group of people. They were all climbing into a van, and one of his buddies from the shelter has told you, "Oh yeah, I've seen that van driving around the town a little. I'm guessing he's in it. But I don't know who those people are. Maybe they're a charity group, something like that."
It'd certainly be good if it was some responsible people that, are helping to keep him safe. Do you have any idea where they might be driving around, where I might be able to stop them and get a chance to talk to him?
Well, I mean, there's a central junction. You're probably going to see it if you want to just camp out and watch. I mean, I sit there most days. Where was it I saw it? The last night. I'm fairly certain I saw that van. That's it. It was near the support group at the Baptist Church. It was the Alcoholics Anonymous group. He holds up a badge proudly. I saw it lingering around outside. It's Katie Lombardo's group. She's a wonderful woman. Leads us in prayer and discussion. I didn't see your brother there, mind you, but it was only last night. The van was definitely there, out in the parking lot.
All right. Well, thanks. That helps. I think I'll see if I can find out anything about Ken over that group then. And hey, congrats. Well done. On the badge. I never really could last that long, but
with all the shit going on, I'm wishing I hadn't given up when I did, but that's the way of things. There's never a day without some hell.
Ain't that the truth? Thanks a lot. I'll see if I can find my brother. You've been a great help.
Yeah, no, I think nothing of it.
And I'll begin making my way towards this Baptist church, this support group. Perhaps I'll be able to find Ken there. Everything that's going on is just, it's all so weird, but then again, it's not really weird at all. I mean, it's all happening for a reason. It's all part of the big plan. I know what I need to do, but I can't do it alone. I need Ken for this. I need Ken, and I need to make sure that he's safe. We only have each other.
As you drive through town, you're noticing that the sea mist, which is usually quite thick at this time of morning, is even thicker than usual. It's practically pea soup as you are driving through it. Your headlights are barely penetrating the thickness of this grey mass, and so you very nearly hit a barking dog as it scurries past you, but thankfully you avoid it. You notice that your phone, which you've managed to find a charger for, has got no signal.
I look at it and I shake my head. That's to be expected, I guess. That's they said on the radio, we're cut off. It's the end of the world.
You have heard the same reports as Sylvia, as indeed will have Dwayne. I'm sure he's been listening. It'll be pumped in automatically into the hospital. But you make it to the Baptist church, which you've always been quite fond of ever since you were a kid. The statues in the garden, some marking the cemetery outline, some just there for ornamental purposes. You can't remember who the builder was. It was an artist of the area from 50 years ago or so. It was always fun to play hide and seek here and other silly games.
Yeah, those were the good days. Innocence.
The van is still present. It is backed up against the tree line. You're becoming very familiar with tree lines hiding secrets.
Yeah. I'll begin moving towards the tree line then, towards the van. There's a feeling of anticipation. This is the closest that I've gotten to Ken, to any kind of track that actually leads to him. Everything else has been just dead ends and people who might have seen him, and then it just turned into nothing. Maybe this will be the same, but that guy, he seemed to know what he was talking about. Maybe this is it.
As you approach, the headlights on the van flare up into life, and the engine starts.
I lift up my hands, just kind of showing them not a threat. Hey, I'm just looking for Ken.
A woman's face, a woman leans out from the driver's side. Who are you?
Toby Heuvok. I'm Ken's brother. I heard he was with you. I need to see him.
She leans back in. Ken, do you want to speak to your brother? She leans out again. I don't think he's in the mood. He's a bit tired. It's alright, we'll all be together again soon. Anyway, could you get out of the way, please? We've got places to be, people to meet.
I mean, could I ride with you? I mean, I'm not going to be a bother, you know? I could be of help. You know, I'm a soldier. I can fight.
She looks you up and down. We've already got a soldier. But she narrows her eyes, and a smile cuts across her face. Oh, you found us. Oh, very good. She's very good. Yeah, come in. I didn't think there would be another one, but I'm glad there is. You're going to get to join in as well, then.
Hey, as long as I get to see Ken, it's all good.
Yeah. Ken, unlock the side door. Yeah, climb on in.
I do as I'm told. I'm finally going to get to meet Ken.
You slide the door open, and what you are greeted with is Ken, sitting on one of the bench seats. He looks up at you. He's been leaning over a cadaver in the back of the van, and he pulls a knife out of its abdomen, holds it up next to his face. He has an utterly detached, manic look upon his face, the kind of which you haven't seen since you served together. The body is freshly dead. Its guts are spilled out from the incision and are spooling out now, as intestines are wont to do. And he points with the knife at the opposite bench seat and says, "Well, if you're going to get in. We've got places to go, people to meet."
And I say nothing. My eyes are just wide open. But that's Ken. And I think I knew what I was getting into. This is the way. And it's all going to be better after this. It'll be just like in Fallujah. Just a few nights of hell, and then it's over.
Let's make a willpower roll to see how well you can convince yourself of this insanity.
15.
Yes. You do climb in. You do sit down. You avoid putting your feet in the bloody mess in front of you. It's as if her eyes are staring up at you, pleading, mouth slightly open, blood sprayed just high enough up to cover her neck like some fancy frilled collar. But there is no life in those eyes. There's no pinkness to that skin. She's been killed, and she is now exsanguinating what is left of her liquid blood, and Ken is carving grotesque symbols into the skin. And while he does so, he speaks to you. It's... How long's it been? We ran into each other, didn't we?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
I can't remember time anymore. Time, what a joke.
Yeah. You alright, man?
He holds the knife up again and waves it very close to his face. I can't tell you to a certainty.
But it's all going to be better after this, right? Once it's done.
I think so. I hope so. I mean, I've done some things, and he points with the knife down at the body. And there's more things to come. 13 in total. We've got, there's 2 teams. Alpha team, Bravo team. Alpha team are on one side of the city. Bravo team are on the other side of the city. We've got our targets. Toby, we need to bring them all down to complete the circle. To fix things. And when we do, like you said, everything will be better. Everything will be all right. Because if it isn't all right, I've got a lot of blood on my hands, man. I don't think it's going to come off anymore. It's all over me.
Yeah, man, we'll complete the mission. That's what we'll do. Just like we did before.
That's right. That's what we'll do. I always said you would have been better for this than I was. You would have been a better pick than me.
We'll do it. We'll do it together, all right? Like family. We only have each other. Look out for each other, just like we did in the service.
Yeah. Sounds great. Let's do that.
You can talk to me, you know. You don't have to go through this alone.
He looks at you, his eyes swiveling in their sockets. Talk to you. And say what?
I don't know, man. Whatever you need to.
We're all of us shunned by everything, everyone. And these people, he points at the body, are the ones we marked, the ones that were chosen to rebuild Jericho. You have to break the walls down first. And we are bringing those walls down brick by brick. Even if we have to cut through the mortar with a rusty knife to do it. She promised that there would be reward at the end of this. And I think she might have fed me something, or I might have smoked something, or I don't know what it is she did, but I believed her, and I still believe her. Man, I'm not going to break. Not now. I've come too far.
Yeah. She gave it to me too. I believe her. Anyway, it doesn't matter anymore. Just have to believe. It's just like the war, you know? It was all lies. But we believed. Because we had to believe. Because that's all that there was left to do. Just complete the mission. Finish the job. Go home. That's what we'll do here too.
That's right. I'm so glad you're with me. I'm so glad I'm with you for this, Toby.
Me too.
Now help me cut up this body.
You got it.
Chief, you are awake and surprisingly mobile. The doctors, most of them aren't here. You have heard over the radio of everything going on in the city, and while, of course, a lot of medical personnel are attending to their posts, helping the people that are hurt, there are some who are just as panicked and worried as every other civilian in Devonsport. This talk of not being able to escape the town, it's freaking people out even more so than the religious omens that are hailing down from above. But in your case, it's almost predictable. Of course this place has been made into a cage. Of course people are trapped here for whatever is about to happen. Hell, you've been trapped here your entire life. But you're able to get to your feet. You're still hooked up to an IV. One of the nurses says, "Look, I can't stop you from discharging yourself, if that's what you're determined to do. But I would certainly advise against it."
I look at the woman and I nod. But that's the thing. I've been sitting there in bed for hours and hours, and confused as to why it's not ended yet. And the only thing that makes sense is that somehow he hasn't done it yet. They haven't done it yet. I can't believe they haven't done it yet, but they haven't. They haven't killed Jessica. That's what this all is, I think to myself. Grace's game. She's taking Devonsport to hell. And Jessica is obviously the last thing. The last thing, and then everybody goes to hell, and I was content to sit and go to hell myself, but knowing what that man said. Carol, she can't get out of this. I can't. No, I can't just let that happen. Well, there's a chance, if there's still a chance. So I'll look at this woman, and of course I've collected my gun, and I just say, it's okay. I need to do one last thing before I die. You should too. You should go and be with people you care about.
I'm not going to abandon people when they need me most, but you do what you've got to do, Chief. I'm going to be right here. Just don't... She gestures at your body. Oh, there's nothing I can say, is there?
No.
Do what you've got to do. I think everyone else is wrapping up their business. In case this really is the apocalypse.
I think it is. But we might still be able to save some people. Maybe.
Okay, so you get yourself dressed as well as you can, given that you're suffering from probably second-degree burns all over your body. And you are still blind in one eye.
It's certainly gonna make my trigger finger harder to pull. Oh well. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die standing.
I assume you collect your gun.
I certainly do.
As you're leaving, you run into your daughter, who is finally off shift and coming to see you. Dad, get back into bed. For Christ's sake, the one thing I don't need right now is you wandering around.
Carol, please, we need to. We're running out of time, Carol.
Look, well, you're telling me I've got about 5 minutes to visit, and then I need to... I don't know what I need to do. Everyone says I need to sleep. But how am I supposed to sleep with everything going on outside? People are saying that there's alleys, streets, that are suddenly turning into... And she gestures exasperated. I don't know what. Pits, steps going down into the sewers, or worse. Statues are crying. What's going on, Dad? What am I supposed to do?
I pause. My heart begins to break, because all I want now is to just get her out of here, because she... No, not just her. There's so many people who don't deserve what's coming for people like me. I start to weep a little. Oh, honey. Hell's coming for Devonsport. And it's gonna take everybody with it. I think the only thing we can do is save the life of one person who doesn't fucking deserve it. But I think if we do that, maybe she'll, out her own self-interest, keep Devonsport floating. I think.
Okay, who is this person then?
Jessica fucking Inzio.
Oh, great. So we've got to save Jessica Inzio, and Devonsport is saved. Look, I've seen and heard a lot over the last few days. Hell, ever since the school shooting, things haven't been quite right, but things have been getting worse, I'll admit. Then you come back and your friends come back, the Wilsons get murdered. And you know what's the sickest thing is? There are people outside the Wilson house right now, even no matter how often we disperse them, they come back like flies, celebrating. Some kids set off fireworks above their house because they were killed. And Jessica Inzio is the key to all this?
I think so. I think Toby Oivok, and possibly Sylvia Spears, they're gonna try and kill her, and maybe it doesn't matter, but I think, and I lean forward and try and put my hand on her shoulder to steady myself, I think that's the final thing Grace needs. Her and Grace, they've got something, I don't know what it is. And maybe Jessica's just as much a devil as Grace, but I know that Jessica Inzio dying makes Grace happy. And this is all her. This is all her. We can't let her just get away with it. I want to try and... Maybe Toby can come to understand, but I don't think he can. I think we'll need to kill to save her.
Okay, Dad. I'm going to get you to Inzio Construction if she's there. I will call the cops. I'll let them know that Sylvia Spears and Toby Heuchober are dangerous. I mean, there's a lot of dangerous people right now, and we are a very small police department considering the size of this clusterfuck.
I know, honey. You're doing so well. I love you, you know that. You're the only thing that matters to me.
I love you too, Dad, but I don't know how... What? No. Just, come on, let's go.
I nod grimly, and as we move towards her car, I just say, gotta promise me, though, if the bullets start flying, Carol, you've gotta... Don't save me. Save yourself, don't save me. I don't deserve it. I deserve to go to hell.
Oh, shut up. Shut up, Dad. You're always doing this. And I get it. Right now it feels like hell is coming up to meet us. But you don't need to be a martyr. You don't need to be a bloody hero. Right now, just be the chief of police. Do your job. Protect the community. Worry about yourself and what you're doing with your gun, not me and what I'm doing with mine. I'm an adult. I can look after myself and I can make my decisions for myself. Where were you during the school shooting? Up at Buttfuck Point getting drunk? I was there. I had to help gun that kid down. I know how to handle myself in one of these situations.
I know, Carol. Okay. You're right. Do my job. Just know this. It might be important if I can't say it myself. All this is the same as that shooting. That's what this woman gave Eric. She gave him a means to get revenge on the world, to make it right. But it doesn't make anything right, Carol. It just hurts more people. And that's what this is. That's what she gave Toby and Sylvia. She told them that this will fix everything. And they need to know before it ends that this is just hurting more innocent people. Just like she wants.
Eric? What? I'm sure Toby mentioned Eric as well. That you went to see Eric Switzer in Seattle?
Yeah. I don't know all the details, my love. But he was involved from the start. Patrick was innocent. Some magic from hell or something, I don't know. That's what caused all this. And this is the final move. And I don't know about Sylvia, but Toby. Toby's the next Eric. The only way I can think of stopping him without shooting him is to make him see that, but I don't know if we can.
Well, if he comes at you or Jessica Inzio or anyone else with a gun, I will shoot him. It's my job. Dad, I will give him a warning, and if he doesn't abide by it, I will gun him down.
I know. Just, we need to try, sweetie.
Alright, well, let's get to Miss Inzio's place and see if we can stop all of this from sinking even deeper into hell, shall we?
I sigh and lean back, and hopefully I've got myself some clothes that are better than the dressing gown I was wearing in the hospital, and I pop some painkillers, and I say, one last ride. One last ride.
Well, hopefully not. And the two of you make your way to Inzio Construction.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played The Shunned for KULT Divinity Lost, which was written by Jonas Nelson, with additional material from Petanado. The Shunned was released as part of the Screams and Whispers scenario collection. Our game master was our dear friend Matthew Dawkins, and the series has been sponsored by the fine folks at Helmgast. The music was made by H.M. Carceri, featuring a number of collaborations with other artists, and was used with permission from their label, Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody dark ambient. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julián, Camilla, Ludwig Manford, Bob Lange, Julián, Cameron, Xabier, and Antxon for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for KULT Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play KULT with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember, death is only the beginning.